Okay, friends, it was inevitable that I was 1 minute late tonight. I thought that was going to happen many times on Here and Gone, but it's been one of the very few times I've been 1 minute late. Tonight's a blues extravaganza, blues part one. And I'm going to do something unconventional tonight. I'm going to start off with the barn burner of all time instead of ending with it. Friends, I'm looking for you. There we are. Hey, Marsha's here already. Beautiful. I'm so happy to see you, Marsha. I got some blues for you tonight. I got to do a quick thing here. A paste job. So I'm going to, in my best bluesy way, I'm going to do a little Eric Clapton tribute in the beginning. Oh, you're kidding. You had lunch with Carol today. Wow. Eric Clapton is a figure of such prominence in the blues in modern times that he's like Robert Frost is to poets. And a lot of poets want to forge their own path, and they want to pretend that Robert Frost didn't even exist. They sometimes criticize him, disdain him. Sometimes that happens in the blues with Eric Clapton. People want to forge their own path. I have, in a way, been influenced by him. There's only 2 or 3 lead parts that I've ever learned note for note in my life, and both there's maybe been 4 or 5 out of my entire life, and 2 of those are by Eric Clapton that I learned note for note. You follow? So that says something right there. Now remember, Robert Johnson being the most legendary, the Shakespeare of the blues. Robert Johnson had 29 songs, and Scotzo's here, and Nancy's here. Good. We've got a quorum, so to speak. Clapton started out on a Les Paul in his earliest days. He played an ES 335 for a while in the early days. He played Sunburst Les Paul on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And then he went to Nashville on a tour when he was touring with Cream, I believe. And his biggest influence was Buddy Guy. He saw Buddy Guy playing a Stratocaster, and after that he wanted a Stratocaster. So listen to this. This is just tremendously interesting, especially to guitar players, but I think to everybody. Clapton went to a guitar store in Nashville, and people know the name. It's either Groons or it was Third Avenue Guitars, or to me it's not that important, but to you it might be. And so forgive me that I don't know it. But he bought 5 Stratocasters that day, 5 used Stratocasters, and you could pick them up for almost nothing because nobody wanted them. Nobody was playing Stratocasters. Now everybody is playing them everywhere. It was Clapton who turned it into a cottage industry. No, it wasn't a cottage industry. It was just a big business industry. And what he did was he took 3 of those Stratocasters and made them into one Frankenstein parts caster. And that's the one he used for years. Might have been the one that was on Layla. I think it was called Brownie. He sold it for like $1 million. Then he bought it back. It's all confused. But he gave away 2 of the other ones. He gave one to Eric Clapton. He gave one to George Harrison. And he gave one to Stevie Winwood. So, And on Crossroads, he played an ES335 on the live version of Crossroads. So figure that. It's all confusing. I'm going to start out with Crossroads tonight. And Cream really deserves almost a writing credit on this version because it was Jack Bruce, the bass player, who came up with this iconic lick. And I'm going to play some drum machine with it tonight so that you can follow the beat a little bit. It goes like this. Crossroads, tried to flag it right down to the crossroads, tried to flag it right. Nobody seemed to know me, they just passed me by. Well, that's pretty raucous to start with. And I don't Usually do that up front, but I wanted to do it. It's maybe one of the most classic songs ever written. Certainly a monumental blues song. But here's my controversy I'm going to enter into here. And you notice I'm using a little distortion tonight, not a huge amount, but out of deference to Clapton's sound, I'm doing that. He played Stratocaster, still plays Stratocaster most of the time. And I want to play a song that I learned from him. I've been doing it for years, so I haven't referred back to his version in a long time. I'm sure he plays it better than ever now. But you know what? I'm going to say something really controversial. I think this is maybe the greatest blues ever written. And there's something so important about it to me. It's called Have You Ever Loved a Woman? And it bends the rules of the blues significantly. It's not a low-down evil song. It's actually a song about trying to do the moral right thing. And Clapton's used it as a real guitar showcase for years. He really goes crazy on it. I try to play it a little slower than him, but I've been playing it for years. And it was written by a guy named Billy Miles. And I'm ashamed to admit I don't know much about him. I should learn more and then report back to you. Next week, I'm going to do another blues show, too, because there's too much to fit into this one. But so let me get a beat going here. It's too fast. So, have you ever loved a woman? Yeah, I'm going to do it about around there. Okay, and by the way, do you know the name Peter Green? Peter Green was, I think, the founding member of Fleetwood Mac, an incredible guitar player. He replaced Clapton in the band, the John Mayall Band, I believe. He replaced Clapton, and people were like saying to John Mayall at the time, "Oh no, you lost Eric Clapton?" And he said, "Don't worry, when you hear Peter Green, you won't miss Clapton that much." And that's a big statement, isn't it? But Peter Green was one of the greatest blues players who ever lived. He played a Les Paul, and he played this song before Eric Clapton ever did. So this is, in a way, a little bit of a tribute to Peter Green, too. So it goes like this. Have you ever loved a woman? So much you tremble in pain. Have you ever loved a woman? So much you tremble in pain, and all the time you know, yes, you know she bears another man's name, yeah. But you just love that woman. It's a shame and a sin. You just love that woman. So much. It's a shame and a sin when all the time you know, yes you know, she belongs to your very best friend. Yes, she does. Now I'm gonna go to the QC. Well, you just love that woman. And you know you can't leave her alone. You just love that woman. You know you can't leave her alone, but something deep inside of you, yeah, won't let you wreck your best friend's home. A blues by Billy Miles. Pretty intense. I have to collect myself after that. Why did I switch keys in the middle to C? Well, it lifts the song to a certain degree, but also that's the key that Peter Green did it in. So as a tribute to him, I played the solo in his key. I'll do one more Clapton song here. I'm going to do it on the clean sound that he uses. This is the one lead that I learned note for note, really. So I play it as a tribute to him. And that's the way I play most of the time now. I play without a distortion pedal. And I'm going to get me a little drum beat going here. Let me see if I get this right. Yeah, this is it. And I love this blues a lot. I adore this blues. This blues is by Sleepy John Estes, and it's really just, in the best sense, it's simply a true story, like a reportage of the news of what happened to him one day when he almost drowned. And it's called Floating Bridge. And I'm out of tune, which is classic Stratocaster activity. I'm going to tune up for a moment. Who else used a Strat, friends? Jimi Hendrix, of course. And from what I understand, Paul McCartney has even said Hendrix's guitar was always out of tune. He just kind of willed it. He kind of willed it into tune when he was playing with all that whammy bar stuff. But everybody's used a Strat. The first guy, really, as I said, was Buddy Guy. So let's play this Floating Bridge song, one of my favorite blues of all time. And then maybe I'll do another kind of genre. Not genre, I'm going to stay in the blues, but another kind of approach. Well, I never will forget that floating bridge. No, I never will forget that floating bridge. Lord, I never will forget that floating bridge. They tell me 5 minutes time underwater I was hid. As I was going down, I throwed up my hands. As I was going down, I throwed up my hands. As I was going down, I throwed up my hands, saying, please, Lord, take me to dry land. Yeah. on the bridge were screaming and crying. Said all the people on the bridge were screaming and crying. All the people on the bridge were screaming and crying, saying, please, Lord, have mercy when we whine. Yeah. And there you have one of the great little true story blues. Sleepy John Estes, to the best of my recollection, wrote it. Eric Clapton recorded it with a clean sound. You know, he did a whole blues album a couple of years back. It's called From the Cradle, I believe. And I'm going to shift gears a whole heck of a lot and play my softest guitar. This is the guitar that my uncle owned. He bought it from, I forget where he bought it, but it was made in Spain. And again, we're kind of just continuing this little Clapton tribute, because this is the one song on his album, his blues album, From the Cradle. It's the one song that he recorded on the nylon string guitar. So I do it for him in that regard. And he just threw up my Venmo connection there. And also, of course, PayPal. The link is above. So, yes, it's greatly appreciated if you would like to support this. I'd greatly appreciate it. Most people who do this charge an admission, or it's a pay-per-view when they do a webcast. But I don't feel like I need to do that, and people have, in general, been generous. Some news about Alan LaBeouf is coming back. We had a great night here on New Year's Eve, and he's going to come back February 3rd to play. That's only in a couple of weeks, so he'll be back in the kitchen. We'll do some of your favorites, and if you have any requests, just write them on a 20 and send them up. No, it's a terrible joke. Paul is here. I assume that means Jim is here. Scotzo is talking about Jeff Beck. Yes, Jeff was in the Yardbirds. He was the first guitar player, I believe, before Clapton. So Clapton replaced Jeff Beck in the Yardbirds, I think. How did the Yardbirds get so hip as to have all these guys? Anyway, let's keep doing some blues. This is I'm drifting like a ship out on the sea. Drifting and drifting like a ship out on the sea. I ain't got no sweet woman in this world to care for me. If my baby take me back again. If my baby would only take me back again. I'd feel much better, darling, and at least I'd have a friend, I'm drifting like a ship out on the sea. Drifting and drifting like a ship out on the sea. I ain't got no sweet woman in this world to care for me. Some nylon string blues guitar for you. Eric Clapton recorded that song on his Spanish classical, his Ramirez. That's a Rodriguez, which is a branch of the Ramirez family. Everybody over there makes guitars. Every town has a guitar maker. My brother-in-law, Paul Bauerlein, bought a Spanish classical when he was in the Navy. He just went into a town and asked where the guitar maker was and bought it. Thanks, Arlene. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Raj. Happy Saturday. I'm starting the gig early tonight, as you guys can imagine, because of the playoff game. So the playoffs are very important to many of my friends and colleagues. Now we're going to go to a Martin, which is another guitar that Eric Clapton plays a whole heck of a lot. And who else have I been influenced by? Well, I've been influenced by Bonnie Raitt, particularly in the realm of slide guitar playing. And did I ever ask Bonnie to demonstrate something about slide guitar? No, I didn't. She volunteered. Pardon me. And she showed me something one night in a club in New York where we were hanging together. It's very possible that we might have had a few drinks together that night. Eric Clapton wrote the liner notes to Robert Johnson collection. He said, up until the age of 25, if you didn't know who Robert Johnson was, I wouldn't even speak to you. You follow, friends? But he also said about the monumental Blind Willie Johnson, he said, I couldn't carry Blind Willie Johnson's guitar case. So Blind Willie's reputation has been growing as the years have gone by. So this is not only one of my favorite Blind Willie Johnson songs, but it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And it's about grace. It's about someone paying your bill, someone paying for you. And I dare say when it was written, in those days, a black man could be thrown into jail for anything. And so this is probably one of the reasons behind Blind Willie Johnson writing this great song, and it's called "You're Gonna Need Somebody on Your Bond." You're gonna need somebody on your bond. You're gonna need somebody on your bond. When it's way in the midnight and death comes creeping in the room, you're gonna need somebody on your bond. When you was a gambler, nobody would go your bond. Fell on your knees and tried to pray, 'cause Jesus would go your bond. You're gonna need somebody on your bond. You're gonna need somebody on your bond. When it's way in the midnight and death comes creeping in the room, you're gonna need somebody. I heard the voice of Jesus say, hold to me and rest. Heart weary, heart lie down, head upon my breast. Now I've got somebody on my bond. You're gonna need somebody on your bond. When it's way in the midnight and death comes somebody on your bond. You're gonna need somebody on your bond. So the great Ry Cooder, one of the great slide players, of course, in the world, and Ry did a tribute album only a year or two ago. He did a Blind Willie Johnson tribute album. I really recommend it. Thank you, Jim and Paula. Appreciate that. And so one of the hard things about figuring out a Blind Willie song is just to hear and try to understand what he's saying. And, I heard Taj Mahal's version of You're Gonna Need Somebody on Your Bond. And he says, when it's late in the midnight and death comes creeping in the room. And it's not that at all. Blind Willie is clearly saying when it's way in the midnight. So even the great Taj Mahal couldn't get that lyric right. So my second favorite Blind Willie Johnson song, which I'm not going to do, but it's Everybody Ought to Treat a Stranger Right is what it's called. And Ry Cooder has a great version of it, a beautiful version of it. And so I couldn't wait to hear it. I'll tell you why, because I tried to figure out what Blind Willie was saying for years. Because there's this one place when he's talking about everybody ought to treat a stranger, Babala, you turn him away. And I'm like, what is he saying there? And I listened to it hundreds of times and EQ'd it, put it on different speakers on headphones, and it still came out, Babala, you turn him away. And I'm like, what is that he's saying? So finally, when Ry recorded, I said, great. He's an expert. He's an archivist. And when I go listen to his version, he'll have it. Guess what it says when he gets to that line? Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. Ba-ba-la, you turn him away. So Rye just sang exactly what Blind Willie sang, and we have to just take it on faith that ba-ba-la means something. I highly recommend it. I've made a lot of recordings in my life. I have 13 records on iTunes, I think, and the equivalent amount on Spotify now, I guess. I had a big label behind me with $83,000 worth of production. I had all kinds of things happen, and I think it's boiled down to a recording that I'm the most proud of. Out of all my records, this recording, which you can find on iTunes or Spotify, it's called Blind Willie Blues. And I just recorded it in my bedroom, you know? Not that high-tech a situation. This is my attempt at telling a little bit about his life. Could make a guitar sing. From the time that he was 5 years old, he was walking with the king. Born and raised in Texas, could have sold his soul to play. When he went down to the crossroads, he chose to go the Savior's way. Yes. Darkness of his journey must have comforted his mind to know that John the Revelator spoke of Jesus healing the blind. One day on a corner met a woman named Angeline. They'd be married more than 20 years until death would intervene. He wrote, God don't ever change. Everybody ought to treat a stranger right. He wrote, you're gonna need somebody on your bond, yeah. And dark was the night, yeah. On Forest Street in Beaumont, on the northern end of town, well, a fire tore up Willie's house, but it did not burn it down. Happened in the winter, not a soul would take him in. He died from sleeping in a cold, damp bed. The mystery of sin. Could make a guitar sing, and after all these years in glory, he's still walking with the King. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I did have a little bit of a fingernail occurrence during that song, so excuse me for a moment. If you feel like it, this is a good chance for you to maybe visit the tip jar. Just saying, it's up there. If you scroll up, you'll find PayPal, and Annie made sure you also could find Venmo if you want. Okay, so Crossroads, is it the greatest song ever written? Maybe. I started the show with it. I was really doing the Cream version with the Thanks Marsha. I played the last Tuesday. Jim, you played Blind Willie Johnson. That's a great encouragement to me. So my song has gone out like a little ambassador, I hope, into the world, and I appreciate that greatly, that you're doing that song. I, in turn, have done one or two of your songs at least in my travels. The one I enjoy doing the most is Vanity Fair. I recommend it. Look it up. It's by Jim Winder. So I started out the evening with Crossroads by Cream, and I kind of wailed on the electric there. But I'm going to play it, my acoustic version here. Of course, Robert Johnson only played acoustic. Save me if you please. I went down to the crossroads, tried to flag it right. Down to the crossroads, tried to flag it right. But nobody seemed to know me, they just passed me. My sweet Retta by my side, going down to Rosedale with my Retta by my side. We can still barrel house, baby, down by the riverside. I'm standing at the crossroads, I believe I'm sinking down. Okay, we're coming around the mountain here. As I said, this is part one of two parts, because I've been writing so many blues that I have a desire to play some of them for you, which I will do next week, which is probably going to be on Friday of next week. But let me get back to the Nuclear Stratocaster here. see, I will play you an original. My heart is breaking, but I got no tears left to lose. My heart is breaking, yeah. I got no tears left to lose. My way of crying, baby, is to sing and play the blues. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even when I break down, my tears still refuse to fall. Even when I break down, my tears still refuse to fall. My way of crying, baby, is to sing and play the blues for you all. My eyes are dry and weary, and heaven only knows who understands. Yeah. My eyes are dry and weary, and heaven only knows, heaven only knows who understands, yeah. My way of crying right here in my hands. Yes, it is, baby, I'm gonna play the blues. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I hope we meet again someday soon.